Hello everybody, today our video will be about the HPC cluster architecture. I will talk to you about how I have proceeded to deploy my environment. Okay, and I hope that you will enjoy this video, and if it is the case, please don't forget to subscribe or like this video. This helps us to grow. Thank you very much again. Okay, this architecture is my current HPC, my tiny HPC cluster architecture that I've used, and I've deployed it with Ansible. This is this software I use it, and the tool used to build this HPC cluster is the main tool is Slurm. Okay, this job task scheduler is used for building my HPC cluster in the backend. Here we can have the HLD architecture, but before moving forward, let me show you how. Here is the dashboard of the monitoring part of my HPC cluster. You can see that we have many nodes in this HPC cluster. We have also for the Slurm part, okay, the backend computer part of my HPC cluster. We have those two nodes. Yeah, the node 1 and the node 2. Okay, we call server C and server D. And for the storage part, we have a shared storage that I've deployed on my on only one node, because I've on a tiny cluster. I don't want to invest much in the storage part or to build a high resiliency and high performance backend storage cluster. Okay, so just one node to use for that. Yeah, so this is for the management part. We have also as you can see, we have I have two compute nodes here on my cluster. Those nodes are idles. Okay, but this is not the purpose of the video. It is not for doing the management. Okay, it is just to show the architecture that I use to deploy this cluster. Yeah, and regarding the architecture, I have this one. The HLD. For the network part, I have two networks. I have the backend storage, the backend networks, as you can see here. Okay, each node of a cluster have two network cards, one for the management part and another one for the backend part. Okay, for the internal network. Okay, it is in the real life networks, it will be a very high performing network that you have to build in your infrastructure. Okay, and here as you can see, there is no bonding and so on. It is just a very simple network. But in the production, of course, we should have a bonding configuration, VLAN configurations for a network isolation. Much more isolation should be performed in this part. Okay. In my case, I just keep things much more simple to build very rapidly this video. Okay, and here we have a bunch of nodes. Here we have 5 nodes. Okay, for the cluster, I have one node for the management, another node for the login part where user account comes in. We have also 2 nodes for the compute part, where we should have the CPUs and GPUs for the cluster, which have to take care of the different tasks submitted by the users, okay, from the login node. We have also the backend storage. This node will be used as the backend share storage that will be shared across all those nodes in my cluster, as you can see here. Okay, and this whole cluster has been deployed from this particular node, okay, with Ansible. Okay, it is with Ansible that I've deployed this whole cluster, as you can see here. At the initial moment, there is no software in those nodes, only the operating system and the network configure. Okay, and Ansible will take care of deploying the different software layer across those nodes, depending on each profile of those nodes. Yeah, for the LLD part, let me go deep dive on each component type, which software layer has been deployed on each type of nodes. Here on the control node, the control node is the heart of the deployment strategy of my HPC cluster. I have installed the Ansible Legacy 1 version on the control node. I have also downloaded the BlueBanquise collection. Okay, of course, Ansible is based on Python, so I will configure a virtual environment where I have installed the Ansible core in a particular user and so on. Okay, and once done that, I have set up of the SSH connection with others node, all nodes on my cluster, and from there I was able to provisioning or deploy the different software layer on each node, as you can see here. Okay, and after deployment, okay, those nodes can be communicated depending on the purpose of these communications. And you can see, of course, if you have that time synchronization, you should have also the BarraDB for accounting. You have to know who have executed which task and how many CPUs has been configured by each person. So all the information should be inserted in the MariaDB for the backend storage part. Okay, it's really for the accounting part of the HPC cluster, because many persons will be able to use this HPC cluster. So you should know which task has been done in the cluster, how many CPUs, and so on. All this information should be stored somewhere. Okay, this will be the purpose of the MariaDB through the Slum DB daemon. And for the authentication, you have use of the Munch, okay, for the authentication, and of course Slum controller and so on have been deployed on each node. You can see here. And which things else? Of course, all nodes have to be monitored. So I have installed the node spotter, okay, for the Prometheus, the node spotter to collect all metrics, software metric from each node, okay, software and system networks from each node, and send them up to the monitoring level of my architecture. You can see here, okay. And of course, so all nodes have to be consumed. The shared network, the shared storage, okay, that has been installed on the same node. Okay, so I will use this same node has my backend storage part of the whole cluster, and also have the monitoring part. Yeah, this is the purpose of this node. Regarding the deployment workflow, okay, I have told you it is Ansible through the BlueBanquise deployment strategy that I've used to deploy my cluster. You have Ansible. Here is the different components that you can see in this Ansible node. Of course, Ansible core. We have also the BlueBanquise collections. We should have the YAML file, the playbook user. We have also the variable definer, the template, the SSH keys set up to permit the connection with the different nodes, of course, and of course of the Ansible.cfg, yeah, for the project. And once everything is set up, depending on the nodes that I have to provisioning, I will have to execute with appropriate playbook to configure each node depending on its profile. Okay, this is how we proceed to deploy each node, each target node. And here is just to sum up, here is the HPC. Once the cluster is ready, okay, here's how the HPC cluster workflow will be able to work. It is very simple. In fact, it's very simple. Once everything is very well configured, the user will connect on the login node, will submit his task or his job. Okay, it should be interactive job or it should be in batch mode. Okay, so once this one has been submitted, the scheduler will schedule the job on the different compute that we have right now at the moment. It will be scheduled depending on the parameter used by user. It will be the task or job will be scheduled on one computer or one specific partition on one computer or on compute. And once this job has been finished, or yes, it will be the result will be stored in the backend storage, and also result will be returned to the user. Okay, this is the global workflow. Since here we have the different ports that will be open during the deployment process. We have here you can see the different components which will be involved during this deployment. Of course, we have the different networks that will be involved during this deployment and during this uses of our cluster. Okay, for the authentications, we use Mooj. Okay, I have the authentication component for the HPC. So that's our HPC cluster. So this is all for this video. I hope that all you have get it. You gather much more insight. And if it is the case, please don't forget to like our video. This helps us to grow and encourage us to produce much more content, and let's grow the community in this area, because we are in the area of AI, and those technologies that are behind this AI should be promoted to permit to much more persons to be involved and participate to the evolution of this technology. So thank you very much again. Don't forget to subscribe, and take care. Bye from now.